Hi, my name is Ed Brea. I'm the General Manager of the Meru Sanur in the Bali Beach Hotel Heritage Collection and the Bali Beach Convention Center.
So, thank you for spending your time with us.
You're most welcome.
Can you briefly share how you first entered the hospitality industry and tell us the story of your career so far?
As a young man, I started working in restaurants, and I worked my way up, from the bottom, all the way from washing pots and pans to washing dishes to waiting on tables, doing a little bit of that. And eventually I went to university and worked my way through university working through restaurants and got an internship in a hotel during my university studies, and it became my passion. From there I joined Hyatt Hotels, where I was lucky enough to be at the same hotel for about 8 years and growing my management career there. And then eventually I traveled overseas with Hyatt, and immigrated to Australia as a result of that after years in Australia. But the past 35 years I've really spent in Southeast Asia, a little bit in North Asia as well, but I've gone from place to place, not only with Hyatt, with Shangri-La Hotels and a couple of other chains in between. But I think for me, traveling around Asia has been sort of enlightening for me because I feel very comfortable here, especially in Southeast Asia, and eventually it's brought me here to Indonesia, which has always been one of my first loves.
What inspired you to join the Meru Sanur and Bali Beach Hotel Heritage Collection?
For me, it was a very exciting opportunity because it's a part of the special economic zone, which is more than just the hotels and the convention center. It also includes the hospital, and it becomes, a bigger thing than just, the hospitality. But medical tourism, I think, has always been, something of an interest to me. And it was just a very appealing, project for me to be involved in, and very happy to be here.
How luxury wellness concept is being celebrated in the Meru Sanur?
Well, I think it's a natural thing here in Bali. We celebrate, basically, I think, the three basic principles of the Balinese. And that involves really, I think, the human part, right? Man to God, man to man, man to nature. And embodying those three elements, into what we do here is a very natural thing for us and the people here. And, through some of our programming, of all of our activities, we're able to share that with people and make sure they understand coming to Bali is just not for a holiday itself. There's also so much of that cultural, activities. And that's really what people are looking for these days. They're really looking for something a little bit more, getting involved in the community, getting involved in the spirituality, and feeling better.
Being the tallest building in Bali with its rich history, what makes Bali Beach Hotel, the Heritage Collection, distinctive?
Well, I think that in itself, I think it is the founding father. He came here with a vision to make this hotel, and I think there's a long history of his family here. So that became a very integral part of Bali back in the 60s. Since the building, was built, a moratorium was put on buildings taller than 4 or 5 stories, depending on the actual height. So this is pretty special because there was never going to be anything like it. And the views here is very fantastic. But it's also that rich history that we have, and and what we have to uphold as far as being part of the heritage of not only Bali but Indonesian history as well.
But you also oversee the newest leading Bali Beach Convention Center. What makes Bali Beach Convention Center becoming the preferred national and international MICE event venue in Bali?
Well, it's the newest convention center, on offer here in Bali, and it's also one of the biggest. And it is a fantastic facility. And being connected to the hospital as part of the special economic zone, medical tourism becomes a very important part. And as we are a government company, we get a lot of government and diplomatic business coming in for all the state-owned companies. And that in itself really sets the tone for what we need to do as far as attracting international MICE to Bali. One of the most special things is that it's located right off the beach, and we've got these huge windows looking out over the ocean.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there are so many beautiful aspects of the Meru Sanur and Bali Beach Hotel Heritage Collection. But what is your favorite so far about the hotels?
Well, there's so many, you know. I guess if I had to narrow it down, I would say that's that the Meru, you know, it's an all suites product. You know, the smallest room is 83 square meters, right? And it's that feeling of tropical luxury it's just beautiful to sit over there, the tranquil nature of the environment. It's just a great place to relax. Behind me is the view down south to Sanur, down the beach. And I just think there's nothing else like it anywhere. You know, looking down the beach here, that view every day is just, for me, it's just really special. Yeah, I love it. And of course, you look out the windows to the east and the sun comes up every day.
You've spent many years working throughout Southeast Asia. What do you love most about the region?
Well, you know, I'd have to say, you know, aside from the food being really fantastic anywhere you go in Southeast Asia, I love Southeast Asian food, but the people, you know, I think it's just the warmth of the people, right? And I think as it applies here in Bali, you know, people have that natural hospitality in their spirit, in their heart, and I don't have to teach that. You know, I have to try to transfer my knowledge on how to service guests at a very high level to a luxury standard, but I don't have to really teach them how to act. They have to have the knowledge of what they're saying, but how they say it and how they deport themselves, it's wonderful to see how they just get on with it. You know, the people just have that naturally.
In your own opinion, Pak, how does Indonesian tourism compare in terms of competitiveness within Southeast Asia?
I think for value for money, it's got to be on the top of the list. You know, it's got some of the, you know, the room rates here are probably, to be very honest, compared to other destinations, even in Southeast Asia, they're probably some of the lowest. You know, and I think that the value you get as far as the service levels that you receive for the money you pay is unparalleled. So I think we're very competitive.
What excites you the most about living in Bali?
You know, I think just probably, again, for me, connecting really to the spiritual side. It really, for me, it's really put my mind at ease. Again, I've been living in a lot of big Asian cities, you know, and that has its peril. You know, here, just being able to look out the window every day, see the sunrise come up, breathe fresh air, and just be surrounded by a very, very motivated, you know, group of young people that are very keen to learn. And that's what motivates me every day when I come to work, and that's what I enjoy the most.